Hey guys, welcome back to Chat with Charlie. So for a special guest today, we have none other than the legendary DJ Jaffa. So say hello to everyone, Jaffa.
How's it going, everyone?
Yeah, I was gonna say because I first heard of you probably way too late. It was probably when I released my EP and I shared it to Cardiff HipHop page. And I think that's when you reached
Yeah,
out. Then you were like, "Yo, you actually like the project," and I think you even bought it. So thank you for that as well. Big ups to
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I did, like I say, I just saw it. 1985 is when you started DJing. So you've been in the game for a long, long time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, a very long time. It seems like sometimes, but yeah, yeah,
yeah,
um, yeah. It's like I first got into hip hop like around about '82 with breakdancing and stuff. But
mm,
I started actually DJing '85
yeah.
in my local youth centre.
And what was that in Cardiff as well? Was that you? You know, have you always been
Yeah,
around
yeah, I
here?
didn't catch. Yeah, I've always lived in. Well, I say always lived in Cardiff. I was born in Cardiff.
Mm,
Um, I moved to London then in '88, I think it was.
yeah.
Uh, and that was for music.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, started breaking in like '82, sort of transitioned into DJ in '85. That was through going to Bristol a lot when I
yeah.
was breaking, and just sort of met a load of people up there. One of the guys I met up there was this guy called Dennis Murray. He goes in the name of DJ Easy Groove, who's like a sort of drum and bass jungle
Mm,
DJ.
yeah.
Um, but he started out as a hip hop DJ. Well, started out as a b-boy, then started as a hip hop DJ. And he was the first person I ever saw sort of cutting up records in front of me.
Yeah,
You know, on
yeah.
two turntables, two copies of the same record, cutting them up, and you know, that was my sort of start
Mm,
into it all. Really, I saw him doing that, and I was just like, yeah, I got to do it. So
yeah. That's
yeah.
that's mad. Yeah. And I was gonna say, obviously, being DJing for so long, like, what is like the biggest like difference you've noticed? Then, what's the biggest change you've noticed in the? Well, oh God, how many years is it now? What, almost 30 years? Is it more than 30 years?
Well, more than 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest change is the technology,
Mm,
but you know, whereas I'd hunt for double copies of vinyl records to cut up breaks and stuff like that. Now it's an MP3 in Serato,
yeah.
and you've got an instant double there. So it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, the technology is the biggest thing, and I think the accessibility for anyone who wants to get into it. Before it
Mm,
was, you know, I basically locked myself away in my bedroom for a year to learn how to DJ,
yeah.
um, and it's like, you know, now people can sort of pick it up, go to
Mm,
tutorials, all sorts of stuff. Whereas I had to go off, sort of like listening to stuff,
yeah.
um, trying to figure out what they were doing.
Mm,
You know, there was, like I said, there was no internet back then, let alone YouTube. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it
Mad.
was, yeah, it
So,
was a bit of a slog.
so yeah, like, I take then, obviously, back then, you because obviously no YouTube, no internet. Did you have a mentor to teach you, or did you just sort of like figure it out, as it were?
Um, well, it was Dennis Murray, I think, DJ Easy Groove.
Yeah.
He was the sort of the first one I saw in front of me. So
Mm,
he was the only person I could actually sort of look to and see, you know, what I was listening to, and then I'd see him play, and he'd be like, "Oh, right, okay, I sort of get what what he's doing now and stuff."
mm,
But and then it was like I go to like the group, you know, the group Massive Attack.
yeah,
But
yeah.
before they were called Massive Attack, they were called the Wild Bunch. They were a sound system from Bristol.
Oh,
So I
right,
used to
yeah.
go to a lot of their parties and stuff. And they used to do like warehouse parties in Bristol, up in London, stuff like that. So
Mm,
I used to go to their parties, watch them. They'd sort of, you know, it was back in the day where they'd get all these rare records and then cover the labels so no one could see what they were.
yeah,
It was just like this whole sort of thing. But now it's like everyone knows anything. You got Shazam and stuff. So
yeah.
it's like, yeah.
Mm,
So I mean, that's another thing as well with it. You know, like technology side, it's easier to find records out through Shazam, and there's sites like Who Sampled for the samples and stuff like that. So
yeah. I mean, with like Who Sampled, I think, well, because I'm a producer myself. I think most people watching this know. I mean, you've made beats as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of people. Funny enough, it was just yesterday, because sample snitching can become a problem now with people, where they might illegally use a sample, and then someone will be like, "Oh, it's this sample," and then suddenly there's a copyright case. I saw with Knowledge, because he'd been using acapellas from Meek Mill, and he'd been putting beats behind them. But Meek Mill's put out a lawsuit against those flips of his acapellas that he sampled, which is not good. But Shotguns Part 2, I think that was pretty recently when it was announced. Someone found the sample to that track. I think it was only a few years back, wasn't it? I don't know if you remember.
Which one was it?
Shotguns Part 2 by
Oh, yeah, and then someone put the video up, and it was like they were showing how they actually did it. And it was like the transit, the sort of transposing it down and stuff like that. Yeah. I got off Bandcamp. There's a DJ, I can't remember his name now. It's something like 275 or something like that. It's DJ from America, and he's done. He's got that the audio of that video.
Yeah.
And he's put Kofi, the Reggae Records. Yeah, he's got that acapella that over the top of it.
Oh, nice.
It works really well. I was surprised. But yeah, it's and I've heard like Jazzy Jeff playing that in his sets as well, that YouTube video.
Nice.
Because I thought he was doing it live when I first heard it. I was like, how the hell is he doing that?
Yeah.
But then I figured out he's doing the YouTube bit.
I think with again, it's like with the mashups with the DJ stuff, I have seen a small revival on TikTok. I know, again, you're DJing from the 80s. TikTok's kind of a relatively new thing. It still feels like you're a generation below me, to be fair. But I've seen a few people on that where they'll cut it down to like a 15-second clip, and they'll just like obviously do a mashup with 2 tracks. And there's a lot of people who like that type of stuff. I mean, your son's probably more familiar with it than me or you, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
I've seen it. There's a guy who's on TikTok and he's on Instagram as well, and he does like the sort of beat to the break sort of thing. So he'll play the original and then go into the who sampled it sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I've seen a few of them. They're good because it's educating the next generation. Where the samples come from and stuff. So a lot. I've heard complaints about it, like, oh, it's easier. We were doing that back in the day. It's like, yeah, but it's another generation now who sort of don't know that stuff. So it's educating them.
Yeah, and I to be honest, fair, like I've learned a lot just like going back and like recreating beats from artists. I think I actually put it in the Bard Picasso group chat, which obviously we're both part of now. So big ups to Bard.
Yeah.
I recreated the beat to Wet Dreams by J. Cole. And the way that works, I've actually got my MP3 behind me. For the people on Spotify, you won't be able to see this, but for the people on YouTube, and when I'm cutting up the samples and that, the way that it was, like, I think it was J. Cole who produced it, but he cut it up to like the kicks and the snares on the pads. So you play it in as if you're playing like a drum break. But obviously you got all the other musical aspects and elements like the strings, the vocals, and all of that when you're playing it in. And to me, like when I was first like learning how to produce, I kind of didn't click like that. I didn't really have the feel for it. Obviously, a lot of it is feel, I suppose, with DJing as well. It is a lot of it feel, but just going back and like learning how it was chopped and like, oh, this is how it was done. And you can sort of learn to do it on your own, like the records you find. Like I find most of my samples now on YouTube, to be fair. But the algorithm's good for that. The algorithm is good. I mean, you've got like your own behind you. I mean, for the people who can't see, Jaffa's got literally a library of records behind him. Are they like organized? Like, do you know which
they
ones
were?
Yeah.
They were organised, but we've had like some work done in the house. We've had to move records around and stuff like that, and then they just get put back, and it's just all over the shop now. So but no, it's I've all the stuff that I've sort of sampled, like in that track I put in the Bard group. Yeah. Like that was off vinyl. I don't think because I mean the last track I made was in 2007.
Yeah.
So, like I said, YouTube not really around then. So all the stuff I sampled prior to that was off vinyl. So it was just literally going record digging and stuff. So yeah.
But like,
it's different generation.
yeah. But if I was to ask though, like behind you, if you could, would you know, like, if you had a favorite record behind you, would you be able to pick it out from the from behind or?
I got some. Let's have a look. There's a new group. Well, I say new. They've been around for a couple of years now. Called Salt, and that's one of the Salt albums.
Oh, my mate Callum tells me to listen to them. I'll have to.
They're brilliant. Where is it? I got 1, 2, and 3. I think I've got like 4 of their albums.
All right.
Yeah, there's another one there. 4. Yeah, I got 4 of them. So
what's that? What is it
Salt.
actually?
That's all.
Salt.
It's like 7. It's like 1's 7, 1's 9, 1's 5, and then that one's. I think that one's called Uprising. But they're all and and it's a lot of sort of like very eclectic sort of music. It's like one track will be like a hip hop track. They have like little Sims is on one of the tracks.
Nice. Yeah.
Then they'll have like another track that's like sort of like calypso type tune. Then they'll have like an like 80s R&B style. Nice. It's basically my music taste in one group.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got into them. There's a DJ called Cosmo Baker from Philadelphia, and he started posting about them. So I follow him, and so I thought, let's check these guys out, and then it just became my favorite group. So yeah, just bought all the vinyl, got it all digitally as well. So,
yeah, nice. Yeah. I was going to say, like, obviously vinyl these days as well is making a bit of a comeback. I always see that. It seems like every year people are like, more people are buying vinyl each year. But
yeah,
I also saw Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar. That was actually the top selling hip hop vinyl last year, which I think is mad because it's like 10 years old.
I think that's down here somewhere as well.
Oh, nice.
No, there's Damn,
yeah.
So, there's Good Kid, Mad City. It's down there some. Is that it? Yes. There you go. Good Kid, Mad City there.
Nice. I'll be honest about Damn though. Damn I never really got into it as much as Kendrick's other records. To be fair, I don't know if you found that to be the same, but
it was pretty good. But I preferred Pimp a Butterfly, to be honest. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's the same. I just love all the jazz and the funk on To Pimp a Butterfly, all the grooves.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's got more emotion in it as well. When I listen to like The Black of the Berry and you hear the tone on Kendrick's voice, and then you listen to anything off Damn, it just feels a little flat on Damn compared to the emotion.
It was a totally different sort of production style, I think, on it. It's like To Pimp a Butterfly was very jazz influence and like funkadelic and stuff like that. So I love all of that. I think the one before is Section 80. Before
Good
Kid, Mad City. Section 80, like that, you could see he was sort of pointing towards the jazz with what's the one, Rigor Mortis.
Yeah,
with that jazz sampling, rigor mortis and stuff like that. So you could see this sort of, that was, I heard that, it blew me away. I couldn't believe it. What the hell
the bit where he's like, he almost loses his breath, and he's like, da-da-da-da-da, and he's like, ooh.
Yeah.
And chapter 6 as well, the interlude. Hoping we make it to 21. But you can hear like the jazz sort of drums.
But that's it. You can see he's going in that direction. So it's but yeah, and I know what you mean about Damn. It's like, it's a good album. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, but it's a sort of like complete sort of left turn from the rest of the albums. But it's
And it's like,
he's so a good artist though.
and, oh yeah, like yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I'll say it as well. Like I'll be
Yeah,
one of these people before everyone starts hating and be like, "Boo! Charlie and DJ Jaffa hated on Damn." To me, it's still like
no.
a solid like. It's probably still like a 9 out of 10 album for me. I'm not gonna lie. I still think it's really good, but it's just that To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City to me, in the last decade of like hip hop, they're probably two of the top 5 albums for me. Those two albums.
No, definitely.
And then
Yeah,
Damn's
definitely.
like being that good, still a step down. So it's just when you've got that to compare it to, it just kind of fades out a little bit. But on that as well, by the way, for those who don't know, DJ Jaffa has mixes on Mixcloud. And the one that you sent me to listen to was a Schoolboy Q mix on Mixcloud, which I actually really enjoyed, to be fair. Again, really cohesive.
That's when I did. It was a few years back now. I did it for. There's a podcast. I just listened. Well, they haven't put anything out in a while, but it's a podcast in the States called "Where's My 40 Acres."
Yeah.
And I was sort of a fan of the podcast, and then he sort of got speaking me, and there's. Oh, hold on a sec.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, my son's trying to get into YouTube on my computer and he's messing around. What was I going to say? Yeah, we got speaking, and then Brandon, the guy behind the podcast, he was like, "Oh, do you mind doing some mixes for us?" So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 mixes from now. But one of them was that we were going to do a whole series of different artists, like back to back. So it's like Mac Miller, the Mac Miller and Travis Scott one. There's a Schoolboy Q one we've done.
Yeah.
And then there was like a 90s R&B one I've done for them. There's a few others and stuff. But yeah, it was it was a good podcast. I've been a guest on the podcast as well, and it was a bit weird because it was like because it was in the States. I was sat up until like I started the podcast about 2:30, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Yeah, it does.
No, it's good.
Yeah, it does get tricky with the different time zones. I mean, again, a lot of the artists we have mentioned today have been American artists, but are you very like tuned into like the UK sort of hip hop and like rap scene? Like, obviously, there's like
it's like
yeah.
Go on. I listened to everything basically,
because it's gonna happen now. But now, like, I'm a big Loyal Kana fan. I don't know if you listen to any Loyal Kana.
Yeah, I saw him live at WOMAD Festival a few years ago. I saw him live at WOMAD Festival a few years ago, and he I was trying to tell everyone to sort of go over and see him, but I'm trying to.
It gets like that. I was gonna say, for the people who are actually watching as well, I've actually got Yesterday's Gone on CD right in my hand. but
yeah, I was trying to get everyone to go over and see him, but then everyone didn't know who it was. So I was just like, come on, we got to go and see him. He's really good. And I think I ended up going over on my own.
Yeah.
So I just didn't. Yeah, I just loved it, and I ended up chatting to his DJ and stuff. We started following each other, and
what's his
I just loved the
Rebel Clef on it. His DJ
Rebel Clef. That's
yeah,
it.
he raps as well. God, I mean that's the thing.
He raps now, does he?
He raps on the album. He's on No Worries and No CD on Yesterday's Gone, and he's on You Don't Know on Not Waving But Drowning. And he's also on.
Okay.
There's a Barney Artist track as well. What's it called? I just know from the chorus. I've been seeing where these peeps are really from. Good to be home. Which is Barney Artist featuring Loyal Kana, Tom Misch, and Rebel Clef. Like they're all on that track.
Oh, okay.
He's actually good. To be fair,
that.
he's actually really good rapper. He just doesn't have much music out himself. Because he's always DJ'd for Loyal Kana. But you've DJ'd.
Because he produces for him as well, didn't he?
I think so, yeah. I think he produced a lot of it.
Yeah.
I saw, obviously, Yesterday is the latest single Loyal Kana's got. That's produced by Madlib. So, obviously, I mean, I love Madlib, so it's good to see. But you've DJed for some big names as well, haven't you? Like, for the people who don't know, I saw a list on the Bard post. It's like Snoop Dogg, Biz Markie. It's just like, what?
Yeah, it's I don't even know when it started, but I just sort of at one point I was just like the go-to for any sort of artists who were coming to Cardiff, and then just snowballs. It's like, you know, I've supported Wu-Tang, I supported like Ghostface on his own, I supported Talib Kweli, Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg one was weird because it was just like I got in, checked my phone, and I had a message off my friend who he works at doing festivals, doing like putting up all the rig in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, phone me straight away. So I phoned him. He said, right, Snoop Dogg's in Cardiff tonight. They need a support DJ.
Nice.
Get down here as soon as you can. I was like, okay. And this was back in the day before Serato and everything. It was all vinyl. So it was me and my wife sort of going through all my vinyl. She was holding stuff up. I was like, yes, no, don't put that in, yes. But yeah, and then got down there. I actually played longer than Snoop Dogg was on for.
Nice.
That was in the Motor Point Arena. So I played there. And then after that, then I went to the office, got paid, and they said, "Oh, do you want to support him in Birmingham tomorrow?" Like, yeah, okay. So I support him in the NEC in Birmingham as well.
Nice, yeah. And when that
was nice.
When it came to, like, obviously you said your mate, you know, was the one who called you. Like, how do you get these connections? I mean, obviously, if it's something you don't want to say, it's like, oh, this is my secret. But like, to get to that stage, you know, doing shows, basically touring with Snoop Dogg there. Like, how do you get to that?
Well, like, I've just been around for a long time, so it's just like my name gets around, and it's just, I don't know, just people. It's like, oh, we need a hip hop DJ. Oh, this Kool Jaffa, you know. So I that's what I mean. I seem to have been the go-to for stuff. And it's like I did, you know, there's my friend who I moved to London with goes into the name of Me1, MC Eric. He ended up being in Technotronic. He used to hit rap in Technotronic, and then when he reinvented himself as Me1. So I've toured with him because he was as his DJ. He was supporting De La Soul, so I toured with De La Soul.
Nice.
We did the Jazz Mataz tour in London, supporting Guru and Jazz Mataz.
Yeah.
That's with him. So people know about that stuff, and they're like, "Oh, well, Jaffa's capable, so." You know, they'll put me in a play, and then he years later, then he got De La Soul to perform in Newport. Nice. So I ended up doing support DJing again for De La Soul there. But yeah, it's literally, I've been around for such a long time, and people are just like, they know I can do the job, and they just get in touch with me and do it. So yeah,
that's sick. But like, if you were just starting today, let's say, or if there was somebody who aspires to be a DJ like you are, a hip hop DJ, or just a DJ in general, like how would you go about it today then? If you had to start from scratch with no reputation.
I think social media is a big thing now, especially just putting little videos up on social media, just making connections, go into the well, when there are nights.
When they open.
Go into the nights, sort of making yourself known. Talk to the DJs who are playing at these nights and stuff like that, and it's just networking. Basically, it's a simple networking. I say simple, there's nothing simple about it really, but it is networking thing. And just like go on, on social media, follow sort of local DJs in the area as well, and sort of get in with them. And it's like if you're going down the club route. Send links to clubs of your mixes and stuff like that. So it's just putting yourself out there, really. Because it's like I did when I first started. Like I said, I locked myself away in my bedroom basically for a year, and it was my mates that actually got me to get out and do something. I was just like, oh no, I'm not ready. My first gig was in Queen Street in Cardiff. Right at not the castle end, the other end.
Yeah.
There used to be a donut stall right on the corner called Rudy's Donut Store, and it was this old Jamaican guy who used to run it. And I I knew his daughter, and she was like, "Oh, I'll ask my dad if you can set up his donut store." So he's like, "Yeah, no problem, no problem." So Saturday afternoon, I'm set up next to this donut store with my decks and like a little dodgy microphone. I didn't know any rappers or anything like that. And I was just hoping. I was like, "Oh, I wonder if anyone would come along and could rap."
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, this guy called DK came along and started rapping over this instrumental, this Schoolie D instrumental I had. And then from there, then it just sort of snowballed. We did stuff in like Grassroots, which is City Centre Youth project in Cardiff.
Yeah.
Used to have a big hall in there. So there was me, there was Eric, there was DK, there was Fordy, a few other people. And we got together and put on these jams on Saturday afternoon. Hip-hop jams there. And then that just sort of just went crazy. There was people from the valleys coming down all over the place. It packed the place out on Saturday afternoons.
Nice.
And then from there, then we did one in Queen Street. There used to be a massive nightclub called the Ritzy. Well, it's been a few names, but it was not there anymore. But it was like Vision 2K and all these sort of things. But they used to have a funk and soul night on a Monday, and we ended up doing a PA in there. So it was like it held like, I don't know, 800 people, something like that.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, we did that, and then from there, then we moved to London to try and get a record deal. So, and we ended up getting the sign to Jive.
Yeah, Jive, cool.
That was we had 2 tracks out on a compilation album called Death Reggae. And that was through our manager was sort of going round to these labels, and Jive wanted like a hip hop reggae sort of fusion. And just because we had a reggae sample in our demo, they were like, "Yeah, we'll sign you." So they signed us to a 2-year contract.
Nice.
So it was a bit weird, but yeah. And then our contract sort of fizzled out. Then after 2 years, Eric stayed up in London. I moved back to Cardiff, and then just carried on DJing.
Yeah, no, I respect that though, because I remember. I forget. I remember there was a gig at the beginning of November. I remember Asher Jane was performing. I think you were DJing, weren't you? But I have seen your name on some flyers about recently. Like you're still doing it because you're still doing gigs, which is great.
Yeah.
I forget what night that was.
Was it the? What was it? Asher Jane? Was it?
Was Asher Jane there? I don't know. Unity was performing, I think. Unity, was it something stand up?
Oh yes. Blak Twang.
Yeah, there
Blak Twang gig.
Yeah.
That was in the Welsh Club, downstairs in the Welsh Club. Yeah, that was because it was me, and then Unity was performing with Asher J, and yeah, that was it. Blak Twang, me, and Unity and Asher J. So yeah, that was good. It's a good gig.
Yeah. I did see the videos. Yeah. I think I was at another gig that night. I forget where, but might have been Bristol, because that time, I'm not gonna lie, that time of last year, from like September to the very beginning of December, I was in Bristol like 6 times because all the gigs are back. I've seen so many different artists turning up different shows in Cardiff and stuff as well. But yeah, like I was saying, to get back to that, obviously to be DJing for over 30 years and still getting booked, I mean, that goes to show, like, you know, skill. I gotta be honest, I put my hands up. I've never seen you DJ live. I need to do it. I promise when things open up, I will come by and I will check out one of your live mixes. Like, that's something I need to do. And for people listening as well, if you're in the Cardiff area, like, you know, please do that. Please go and, you know, give some respect to our guy Jaffa as well.
Yeah, I'm. That's like I've got a regular gig every Saturday night at Peppermint, playing like hip hop, R&B, Afro beats, dancehall, that sort of thing. At the moment, it's a bit weird because there's no dance floors allowed, so it's like I'm still playing, but it's like I'm basically background music at the moment. Like I did an 8-hour set on Saturday.
Oh, 8 hours.
That was it was. It's fine when it's a dance floor. It's good because you can feed off the energy of the dance floor. But when there's no dance floor and it's just people sitting down and you're just trying to catch to see if anyone's doing a little shoulder shimmy or something, you know, you're trying to feed off the crowd. But it's just like it's a grueling task to do that.
Yeah, man. And so going forward in 2022, is there anything that you particularly want to achieve this year, or just going with the flow?
I just want to get back out and DJ. With the bard thing now, I'm gonna go up into the attic and dig out all these. I've got a load of old beats like in stem form.
Yeah.
So I put that one beat in the chat. That was because I got an MP3 of it on my laptop, so I thought I'll just stick that in there, and it was it's one of my favorite beats I've ever done. So it's like, but I'm just going to go through all of them because I don't like I said, I haven't produced anything since 2007, so I haven't actually got any programs to produce on. So I'm going to go and check out my old beats if anyone wants them. I sent them to Dean, I think, a while ago.
Yeah.
And there's one beat he was saying about it's like a Dipset type beat I did, and that was because I got into like going forward a bit from when I was with Jive.
Yeah.
Like years later, I've been in a few bands and stuff like that. But I started a production team with a friend of mine, Rich Adlam, and we basically wanted to do sort of hip hop, R&B, and we ended up through connections going to New York, working in New York for a bit.
Cool.
There's a guy called Ken Lewis. He's like a mix engineer. He's worked with Kanye, Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, you name it, he's worked with them. It's like you go to a studio in New Jersey and you walk up the stairs, like platinum disc, gold disc, platinum disc, all up the walls. And from there, it's basically that's where we got this. Okay, well, you know, he was into that style. He worked with Dipset, and so he started doing like Dipset styles, and he's like worked with Just Blaze and things like that.
Nice.
And so we got really influenced by his sort of background. So a lot of the beats from around about that era were very sort of Dipset, sort of Kanye, Just Blaze style, basically.
Nah, I'll have to check that then. I do like the old Just Blaze beats, and when Kanye was first coming up, when he's producing on the Blueprint and all of that. Yeah. I did
a beat, and it's very, very Kanye influence. I don't know if you know the record, but it's a record by Earth, Wind & Fire called Reasons. It's very slow, sort of basically like a slow jam.
Yeah.
But I did the whole speeding it up, so it's like high pitched vocal and stuff, and then just the beats are very sort of Kanye influence and stuff in it. But nice. I'll stick it in the chat. You can check it out. But the only thing is with that, it's like I haven't got the stems for that one, so it's just literally an MP3 of a beat that I just did. But
yeah, that's cool though. It's always cool to look back and listen. You know, there's people in the chat who are making beats, well, yourself included, from before I was born. So it's always cool to listen and think that, you know, the sound.
That's it. It's like the beats I put in the chat. It was like I said, it was like 15 years. It's probably, but that was 15 years. I put in my last beat, so it's probably older than that. It's probably like you're talking around 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. And
when you consider
I found it.
People like Man Like Vision, he's only just turned 18. You know what I mean? Yeah. Big ups to Man Like Vision as well. And you get him in here. Incredible.
I was looking through. I got a big flight case and it's got like all cassette tapes in it.
Yeah.
And I was looking through there and I found a cassette tape from. It's got to be around about 92, maybe. Between 92 and 96, and some of the beats on there, they're very, very Wu-Tang influenced. It's just like, and compared to, like, I was using an Akai 950 sampler and the old Cubase program back then. And yeah, it's like no PC or anything like that. It was just like literally that. And the sample time was very short. It's all on floppy disks and stuff. It's like, yeah, crazy stuff. But listening back, it's like some of the ideas are pretty good, but it's like, it's very raw.
Be interesting to see now though with the beats that you made back in like the 90s and stuff, whether or not anyone's made a beat since that has the same sample and they've made something that sounds really similar. Do you know what I mean? Although they've not heard it, just by chance they've discovered the same sample and sampled it in the same sort of way.
Yeah, probably. It's like the sample on the tune that I put in the chat. Like that's off. There's a soundtrack to a film called Mahogany with Diana Ross, and it's one of the tracks off that soundtrack. At least I can think of at least 3 or 4 people who have sampled it before me.
Yeah.
But I tried to sample in it a totally different way and use different parts of it. So, and it's like, if you listen closely to it, there's parts of it where I've chopped up the sample, but there's like a lead sort of synth line that goes in another part of the sample. So I've actually played that synth line, copied it, and played that on top of the way I've done this other chop. So it sounds like I've just put the other sample on it, but it's not. It's like actually played. So yeah, I tried to do that a lot. I've got like on Bandcamp, I've got some remixes I did, and there's one I did a remix of Lucifer by Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And if you listen to it, it sounds like I've sampled some rock guitars and chopped them up and stuff like that. But there's not one sample in the entire thing. It's all played. I've played all the piano bits. It's a program I used to have where you play like a keyboard chord into it, like a piano chord into it, and it'll convert it into a guitar chord.
Yeah.
So I played the chords into that, and then recorded what I played. So recorded the guitar parts that came off it, and then chopped the guitar parts up like a sample.
Nice.
And then put it back into the track. So it does sound like it's sample, but no, it's and all the beats are programmed and stuff like that. But yeah, so I sort of pushed myself to try and do that, and it came out pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely have to check that out. So while we're wrapping it up, if people do want to find that or find any other stuff, where can they find you?
Just DJ Jaffa everywhere, basically. Just put DJ Jaffa Bandcamp, DJ Jaffa Mixclouds, at DJ Jaffa Twitter, at DJ Jaffa Instagram, DJ Jaffa Facebook. So yeah, just DJ Jaffa everywhere.
And there's that every Saturday as well in the Peppermint in Cardiff.
Every Saturday in Peppermint, round about between 7 and 9 I start, something like that. It depends.
Yeah, so if you hear some banging tunes at that time, you know who it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the show as well. Jaffa, we'll probably leave it there.
No worries, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man.